Hey everybody, it's Daniel from the blog It's Like Having My Own Card Shop. This is a video response to leftyndv10's Drew. He's holding a contest where you showcase your top 10 favorite non-auto or game used cards. And I thought this was a really good idea. As I watched his video, I was like, oh yeah, that's just a great idea. How am I going to choose? And then as I start looking through stuff, I'm like, everything is game used, everything is autoed, and just kind of disappointing. So just kind of a little bit about me. I grew up in Phoenix, but prior to the D-backs, I was a Dodgers fan. So one of my favorite players growing up was Mike Piazza. My absolute favorite player of all time is Ken Griffey Jr. Growing up, it was a lot of base cards. Right when jersey cards, autos, that sort of stuff started hitting the market, I took like a 2-year break from collecting, and so I kind of missed out on a lot of game used and autographed Griffey and Piazza stuff. The stuff was crazy high priced at the time anyways, so I wouldn't have been able to really afford it. But so when the D-backs came in '98, I was in high school. Definitely became my favorite team. But again, just a couple years later is when I took that break. And so I really like vintage stuff, but switching to the D-backs, I don't have any vintage cards to go after for the D-backs. So I have a few vintage cards, but anyways, just kind of like a background on where I'm at. So with the D-backs, again, it's just been a lot of game used, a lot of autographs, that sort of stuff, which is great. I understand the situation with game used and whatnot, but still enjoy looking at those cards, collecting those cards, autographs, whatnot. But anyway, so to the contest, I don't know if I'm gonna kind of break the rules a little bit. I'm gonna show more than 10 cards, but 10 categories or sections. I don't know what to call it, but you'll kind of see what I mean. So again, these are in no particular order. This is the first ones I'll start off with. So again, where I'm saying it's more than 10 cards, it's because I'm going to start with this. So this is 2012 Bowman, and this is the red ice parallel. These are numbered out of 25. And so what I did is I put together the D-back set. I just love the red with the D-backs jerseys, so I went ahead and just got the team set. So there's Ian Kennedy, Trevor Cahill, Miguel Montero, Daniel Hudson, Paul Goldschmidt, and then AJ Pollock. So again, those are all numbered out of 25. So I'm counting this as one of my top 10. Is just that team set numbered to 25. I can't imagine that there's very many other team sets out there from this, since it is numbered to 25. I'll go ahead and get all the multiple card ones out of the way up front. So there was also no stipulation as to the sport. So this will be my only non-baseball. But This is the original Dream Team Skybox cards from '92. Again, it's, you know, got the Barcelona '92 in the background. You put the 3 cards together. So you've got the likes of Larry Bird, Patrick Ewing, Magic, Karl Malone, John Stockton, Michael Jordan, and David Robinson, Charles Barkley, Scottie Pippen, and Chris Mullin were the other ones that are featured on these. So that's number 2 for me. Just love those cards. Remember those growing up. I do regret the 6, 7, 8 years, whatever it was, that I collected both basketball and baseball, because at this point I'm not into basketball at all. So I've got tons of base junk wax basketball stuff, but these 3 still some of my favorite cards. My other multi-card, counting as a single spot for the contest. So this one's kind of interesting because he's not even with the D-backs in this particular on this particular card. But one of my favorite players when he was with the D-backs was Ryan Roberts, and he had a couple of years prior to the D-backs, but he didn't have a lot of cards, and so I decided to just go after everything that he had. I mean, literally, maybe he had like 20 different cards, including parallels and stuff. Prior to the D-backs, he had a couple of good years with the D-backs, and so he got included in various sets from Topps, and so I went after his stuff, and I would consider myself a super collector. I didn't in this include any printing plates, because I kind of look at that the same way as the auto in the game used. But anyways, I'll show the card. So this is from 2012 Prism Baseball, and it's the National VIP version. So the cards are numbered out of 5, so that's 2 out of 5. I've also got 3 out of 5, 4 out of 5, and 5 out of 5. So I'm just missing the 1 out of 5. And believe me, I've tried and tried and tried to find that one. If anybody watching this video knows where it is, has it, whatever, let me know. But I'd love to have all 5 of these. So that's number 3. So now we can get into the actual single cards. This one is, like I said, I have some vintage. For me, vintage doesn't have to be, the condition really doesn't matter that much. I think that's part of the appeal of the older cards, is that they have some wear and tear. So, you know, while I would love to have, you know, a 9.5 of, you know, of all these vintage cards, I'm just as happy with some that are kind of well loved. So again, I grew up a Dodgers fan. I love the history of the game, so Koufax, obviously a big part of the history of the game, a big part of the Dodgers. This card I picked up as a kid at like an antique show, and just love the card. Love that set, the 63 Topps. So definitely one of my favorites. Sticking with vintage, So here's a 71 Thurman Munson, again, well loved. I picked this up as a kid via an auction at my LCS, and just loved it. I think it's very well known, obviously. It's one of the first action shots. Drew was talking about the Topps All-Star Rookie logos, and this has got a great example of that on there as well. So just a really cool card. This isn't his rookie card. I say that because I have a brother-in-law that likes to think of himself as a collector, and because he collected when he was a kid. He's a little bit older than I am, so he's more familiar with some of these 70 top sets and that sort of thing, as far as actually having had them. But we've had multiple conversations, and he insists that this is his rookie, and I'm like, it's not his rookie. He has a 70 Topps rookie card. I have it, and so this is not his rookie, but it's just a phenomenal card. So I think that's number 5. Sticking with vintage, I got this one again growing up from the local card shop, the auction, and it's the 61 Maris. So this would have been the card that every kid in America would have wanted that summer, as he and Mantle took on Ruth, and so I just love this one. It's card number 2 in the set. Again, well loved. It's not centered. The corners are rough, but just a great looking card. Love that one. So that's 6. As a D-backs fan, again, shortly after the D-backs arrived is when I took my break from collecting, and but when the D-backs first became a team in '98, actually in '97, we scored a huge signing with Travis Lee. I think he had signed, or he failed to sign with the Twins. I think it was. They had drafted him. I could be wrong on the team, but anyways, so Travis Lee, he was one of my favorite players from the early years, and I always liked this insert, the Damage Ink from Fleer Ultra. This is 1999. Just a really cool design, I always thought, and again, of one of my favorite, probably my first favorite D-back player, so has some meaning there, and just a cool looking card. I love those inserts from the late 90s, that sort of thing. I wish I had more, but again, right around there is when I took that break, so I kind of missed out on a lot of the parallels and numbered, and that stuff was super expensive back then as well. Drew kind of mentioned that, back then, a card numbered, in '91, a card numbered out of 10,000 was just unheard of, and even late 90s stuff that was numbered to 250 or 100 was really rare. 5, 6, 7. Alright, so I couldn't decide between these two. Goldschmidt, Paul Goldschmidt, he's my favorite player currently. These are both rookie cards of his. I'm going to throw them in together. I'm going to break the rules once again. This is the Bowman Sterling. It's the refractor that's numbered out of 199. And then this is the Topps Update gold parallel that's numbered out of 2011. So that's number 8, number 9 and 10. So these were, as I mentioned, I had 2 favorite players growing up, and that was Mike Piazza and Ken Griffey Jr. They both have what I consider iconic rookie cards. Obviously, Griffey has one of the most iconic, but I really love this Piazza 92 Bowman. Just a great looking card. Always wanted it, and I honestly don't remember how I got it. Probably at on eBay or card shop. I don't remember, but definitely one of my favorite cards in my collection. And then probably my most favorite card in my collection, not just the non-game used and auto, but is the 89 Upper Deck Ken Griffey Jr. card. You know, I started collecting when I was 7 years old in 1988. You know, and this card came out the very next year. It was another 10 years before I actually owned it. Drew mentioned, but this card was pricey, and even the Upper Deck packs back then were like 3 times the price of Tops, and so I didn't buy much Upper Deck. I was buying cheaper stuff, Tops, Fleer, stuff like that, as a kid. And so when I finally got a job, I picked this up, and I do have a story for this one. So this card I got during the summer of 1998, which, if you think back, that was when McGuire and Sosa both broke the single-season home run record. Well, for most of the summer, Griffey was right there with him, and this card had just, it was at its peak. I picked this up at my LCS. I paid $150 for it. I thought it was in amazing condition. I was super excited to send it in to get it graded. It was the first card that I ever sent in. Actually, the only card that I ever sent in myself to get graded. I'm not real big on graded stuff, again, just because condition doesn't really matter. And so anyways, but I sent this card in. I was super excited. It came back an 8.5, and I was so upset. Because to me it was just the perfect card, and you know, that 8.5 was not perfect. And so I kept it like that for years, and when I really got back into collecting, I was like, you know what, I'm busting this thing out, and I'm gonna put it in a magnetic and just enjoy it as is. So that's it. Long video, I know, but that's my top 10 favorite non-game used or auto cards. And I know I threw in a couple extra, but make sure you check out leftyndv10's contest. I'll leave the link below, and I look forward to seeing your favorite non-game used and auto cards as well. Alright, have a great day.